CO is the Internet Country Code top-level domain assigned to Colombia. It is administered by CO Internet S.A.S. As of July 10, 2010, there are no registration restrictions on second-level codomains. Any individual or entity in the world can register a codomain. CO has become increasingly popular among tech startups, including AngelList, 500 Startups, Vine, Jelly, Brit plus Co among others. The codomain is also used by many established brands for social and mobile media, such as Twitter, Google Incorporated, Amazon.com, American Express and Starbucks. Codomain names are available for registration globally through accredited registrars. CO Internet S.A.S. from Bogotá, Colombia, was appointed as the manager for the ccTLD through a public procurement process that took place in early 2009. CO Internet received the redelegation approval as the manager of the ccTLD by ICANN on December 9, 2009, and received formal confirmation of the request by the United States Department of Commerce on December 23, 2009. Second-level domain names. When they took over administration of the CO domain, CO Internet S.A.S. implemented new domain policies that were more flexible than the historic ones that had been administered by the University of the Andes. The new policies were adjusted to international best practices and defined in consultation with local and international communities. With the new policies, Colombia would be able to sell second-level domain names to the world, such as widgets.co, where previously only third-level domain names were available, such as widgets.com.co. To celebrate the launch of second-level domains, the registry auctioned the first single-letter CO domain name CO during Internet Week on June 10, 2010. A video of the auction can be seen here. For a purchase price of $81,000, the winner of the auction was Internet entrepreneur Lonnie Bork of B52 Media. Proceeds were donated to a charitable cause of the winner's choice. In addition to CO, the other single-letter CO domain names that have been allocated include, as of June 2011, more than 1 million CO domains had been registered by people in over 200 countries and territories worldwide. As of January of 2014, that number has grown to over 1.6 million CO domains registered. With respect to search engine optimization, Google confirmed that it will rank codomains appropriately if the content is globally targeted. Google has also confirmed that it will treat CO as a ccTLD for purposes of indexing and SEO. More information about CO and SEO can be found on the registry's consumer-facing website, including videos from Google's SEO expert Matt Cutts confirming Google's positive treatment of CO for SEO purposes. Summary of policies since 2010. Any person or entity in the world can register codomain names. There are no domicile or burdensome documentation requirements. Registration period is between 1 and 5 years. Subject to renewal, registrants can easily transfer domain names. CO domains became available via the following timeline: April 1, 2010 April 20, 2010. Sunrise allowed registered local trademarks to apply for exact match domains. April 26, 2010 June 10, 2010, Sunrise allowed trademarks of national effect to apply for exact match domains. June 21, 2010 July 13, 2010, Landrush allowed anyone to apply for domain names of high commercial value. July 20, 2010, codomains became generally available. Third-level domain registrations. The third-level domain registrations closely mirror the traditional iana.com/.net/org/gov/edu/mil hierarchy, with the addition of a national equivalent of name. Different from registrations directly under CO, which are used to signal globally relevant interests, third-level domains are used to signal locally relevant business, organizations, academic institutions, and government. Com.co Euro commercial, Org.co Euro organizations, Edi.co Euro educational, Gov.co Euro government, Net.co Euro network infrastructure, Mil.co Euro military, Nam.co Euro private person, history, IANA delegates ISO 3166-1 Alpha 2 codes as country code top-level domains, and on December 24, 1991, the CO top-level domain was assigned to Colombia and delegated to the Universidad de los Andes. In 2001, the university began to consider the possibility of marketing the domain as an alternative to the generic top-level domains. The government of Colombia objected on the basis that the university, a private entity, did not have regulatory oversight of the TLD, and the Minister of Communications, Angela Montoya Holguin, wrote to them requesting that they not continue. In turn, the university wrote to ICANN, rejecting the government's objections and stating their intention to appoint a subcontractor to handle the commercialization of the domain. At a meeting on December 11, 2001, Holguin asked the Consultative Chamber and Civil Service of the Council of State to consider three issues: whether the codomain is a public resource, if the domain is public resource, whether it is intrinsically linked with telecommunications, if the domain is linked with telecommunications, who should profit from its commercialization. In relation to these three issues, the meeting concluded that, the codomain, having been assigned to Colombia, is of public interest, the administration of the domain is intrinsically related to telecommunications, and hence falls under the purview of the Ministry of Communications, with the exception of those functions assigned to the ICFES by the Ministry of National Education. Unless the Congress of Colombia adopts an act allowing tax to be collected in relation to the registration of domain names, no amount can be charged for such a service. In response to the Council of State meeting, the university wrote to ICANN on February 12, 2002 stating that it had abandoned plans to commercialize the domain, and that as it could no longer bear the administrative and operational responsibilities, it wished to discontinue its responsibility for operating the domain. Finally, with the enactment of Law 1065 of 2006, the Ministry of Communications of Colombia initiated a public consultation process involving local and international participants, including members of the ICANN community, with the objective of defining the future of the ccTLD. As a result of that process, through Resolution 001652 of 2008, the ministry approved new policies that would govern the administration of the ccTLD. A public procurement process began which resulted in the award of the administration contract to CO Internet S.A.S. Finally, on February 7, 2010, the administration of the TLD was transitioned from the University of Andes to CO Internet S.A.S., under the regulatory and policy supervision of the Ministry of Communications of Colombia. On July 20, 2010, second-level code domains became available to the rest of the world on a first-come, first-served basis. In a historic moment for Colombia and the CO domain extension, ICANN celebrated its 39th International Public Meeting in Cartagena de Indias from December 5, 2010 through December 10, 2010. The meeting's host was CO Internet S.A.S., the registry operator of the CO domain. In addition to more than 1,000 guests from 100 countries, the meeting was introduced by Colombia's President Juan Manuel Santos, Communications Minister Diego Molano, ICANN Chairman Peter Dingate-Thrush, and ICANN CEO Rod Beckstrom. During his opening remarks, CO Internet CEO Juan Diego Cali hailed the meeting as one of historic proportion, marking Colombia's entry into the world stage as a new and significant player in the development of the Internet. Accredited registrars: only accredited registrars are able to sell codomain names directly. Other registrars selling codomain names are acting as resellers. The list of accredited registrars is available on the CO Internet website, and as of October 2011 there are 20 accredited registrars. Some of the 20 registrars operate under multiple brands. References. External links: IANA CO information, English website, corporate information site, dominios.com.co